Hey everyone, let's dive into one of the most talked about events in recent geopolitical history. The Trump-Putin phone call on May 19, 2025. Was it a genuine peace initiative or just a political performance? Let's break it down. So, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin had a 2-hour conversation. For Trump, this was more than just routine diplomacy. He's long claimed he could end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours. This call was his chance to prove it. With Europe tired of military aid, Ukraine worn out by war, and Russia crippled by sanctions, the timing was strategic. Trump grabbed the diplomatic spotlight, but it raises a crucial question. Is this the start of a genuine peace process, or are we witnessing the beginning of a new world order shaped by Washington and Moscow behind closed doors? Now let's talk about Putin. He seemed open to negotiation, but his conditions haven't changed. Ukraine must give up its NATO ambitions and recognize Russian-occupied territories. This isn't a concession, it's a reiteration of the demands that sparked the conflict in the first place. Cleverly, Putin is using Trump's peace overture to break out of international isolation, painting Russia as reasonable while sticking to his strategic goals. If the West falls for this peace trap, Ukraine could get stuck with an unjust settlement, a modern-day Versailles Treaty for Eastern Europe. President Zelensky agreed to a 30-day unconditional ceasefire, a smart move to maintain moral high ground and avoid looking like the obstacle to peace. But Ukraine is in a tricky spot. Reject the talks and risk global blame, accept them and face territorial and security compromises. With European elections and rising populist opposition to military aid, Zelensky risks diplomatic isolation without solid U.S. guarantees. And let's not forget, Trump's America First stance further weakens Kiev's leverage. The international community is at a dangerous crossroads. Potential peace talks could be hosted by the Vatican, Switzerland, or Turkey, signaling that the U.S. doesn't want full mediator responsibility. The EU and NATO are cautious, fearing that negotiations on Trump and Putin's terms could undermine Western unity. A unilateral ceasefire without broad consensus or security guarantees for Ukraine could set a dangerous precedent for future territorial aggressors like China or North Korea. In conclusion, the May 19th call could mark a turning point, but its direction depends on what happens next. Trump might use it as a campaign tool, showcasing his diplomacy, while the actual peace process remains riddled with complexities. For Putin, it's part of a long game to keep the West in diplomatic ambiguity while securing gains on the ground. The international community must stay vigilant. True peace isn't built from phone calls but through transparent, multilateral processes grounded in sovereignty and international law. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more in-depth analysis. See you next time.